The psychology of people who love staying at home. There is a quiet kind of peace that belongs only to people who love staying at home. It's not about isolation or fear of the outside world, it's about comfort, safety, and the silent joy of existing in one's own space. For them, home is not just a location. It's a feeling. A sanctuary. A small universe where they can finally breathe without needing to explain themselves. In a world that glorifies busyness, productivity, and constant movement, people who prefer staying home often carry the label of introverted, boring, or antisocial. But psychologically, their preference reveals something much deeper, a mind that values presence over noise, peace over chaos, and authenticity over performance. When someone loves staying at home, it is not because they are avoiding life. It's because they have found a space where life finally feels genuine. The outside world is filled with masks, polite conversations, forced smiles, endless noise, and energy that demands constant exchange. But home, for them, is a refuge from all that. It is the one place where they don't have to pretend. The one place where they can remove the layers society expects them to wear. Home becomes the mirror of their true self, a reflection of their mind, their memories, their emotions. It's where they can sit in silence and not feel lonely, because solitude for them is not emptiness, it's clarity. Psychologically, the people who love staying at home tend to have a high degree of self-awareness. They are introspective by nature. They process emotions internally and often need space to recharge after social interactions. Their minds function like deep oceans, still on the surface but filled with invisible currents underneath. For them, too much stimulation from the outside world can feel overwhelming. Crowded places, loud noises, or forced social situations can drain them, not because they dislike people, but because their sensitivity to energy is heightened. They feel everything, every tone, every gesture, every unspoken tension. And so, when they retreat to their home, they're not escaping the world, they're restoring themselves from it. Inside their home, they find meaning in the smallest details. The soft hum of a fan. The way sunlight filters through curtains. The sound of rain tapping against the window. These things, to them, are not background noise, they are grounding experiences. They remind them that peace doesn't have to be found somewhere far away. It can exist right where they are. People who love staying at home often have rich inner worlds. Their imagination thrives in stillness. They read, write, create, or simply think. Their creativity doesn't need an audience, it grows in the quiet corners of their minds. Some might mistake this for loneliness, but it's not loneliness when the company you keep is your own soul. The psychology behind this comfort in solitude often traces back to emotional safety. Many people who love staying at home grew up in environments where they had to protect their inner world from external chaos. They learned early on that peace cannot be found in noise. They built internal shelters, safe mental spaces where they could retreat whenever life became too heavy. Over time, this inner refuge became external, their home. The four walls are not cages but boundaries that protect their serenity. Within them, they control the energy, the sounds, the people they let in. It is an act of self-care, not avoidance. When they stay at home, they are not inactive. Their stillness is alive. They might spend hours reflecting, reorganizing, creating order out of mental or physical clutter. Their minds move in quiet ways. They think deeply about existence, purpose, and emotion. While others seek stimulation to escape their thoughts, these people seek stillness to understand them. The world outside often rewards extroversion, the loud, the visible, the constantly connected. But those who love staying at home operate in the opposite rhythm. They find fulfillment not in being seen, but in being centered. They do not chase validation, they cultivate peace. There is also an element of control. In their homes, they create an ecosystem where they decide what energy enters and leaves. This control is not about fear but about harmony. The world can be unpredictable, but home can be predictable, a steady environment where they can heal from the unpredictability outside. For people who struggle with anxiety or overstimulation, this stability is essential. It provides psychological grounding, a sense of continuity in a rapidly shifting reality. When everything outside feels too much, home reminds them that not everything needs to change. Some things, like comfort, warmth, and familiarity, can remain constant. Psychologists might describe this preference as a form of self-regulation. It's how the mind restores equilibrium after social and emotional strain. While extroverted individuals gain energy from social engagement, home lovers recharge by being alone. Their dopamine reward system responds differently, not to external excitement, but to internal calm. Reading a book, organizing their space, or simply lying in bed watching the ceiling is not idleness, it's a ritual of restoration. Their solitude is active, not passive. It is an emotional reset button. People who love staying at home also tend to form strong emotional attachments to their environments. Every object, scent, and sound holds a story. The mug they drink coffee from every morning feels like a companion. The chair near the window becomes their thinking spot. Their bed is not just a place to sleep, it's a haven where their mind can finally rest without armor. They find comfort in routine, in familiarity, in the predictable rhythm of their space. It's how they feel grounded in a world that constantly demands motion. Sometimes, their love for staying at home is misunderstood. Society often equates activity with worth, movement with progress, and social engagement with happiness. So when someone prefers to stay home, they are often asked, "Don't you get bored?" or "Don't you want to go out?" But boredom, to them, is not something to fear. It's space for the mind to wander. It's in that stillness that they reconnect with themselves. Their quietness is not a lack of life, it's a different kind of living, one that values being overdoing. The psychology of home lovers also reveals something profound about emotional independence. These individuals don't rely heavily on external validation to feel content. They know how to create their own joy, their own comfort. They find pleasure in simplicity, a warm drink, a good film, a favorite blanket. They don't need to be surrounded by people to feel alive. They've built an inner relationship so strong that solitude feels like company. And yet, they are often misunderstood by those who fear being alone. People who can't sit with their own thoughts often project that fear onto others, assuming solitude must mean sadness. But those who love staying home know that solitude can be one of the most healing forms of self-connection. Interestingly, these individuals are often deeply empathetic. Their quietness allows them to observe and understand others more deeply. Because they spend so much time reflecting, they develop a natural sensitivity to emotion. They can feel the tension in a room, sense the shift in someone's tone, and understand what's left unsaid. Their empathy, however, can also be the reason they prefer solitude. Absorbing the emotions of others can be draining. Home becomes the place where they can detox from the emotional noise of the world. Home lovers also have a strong sense of boundaries. They know what kind of energy they want around them. They understand the importance of saying no, of protecting their peace. While the world tells them to open up, they know that openness without boundaries leads to burnout. So they choose carefully who they let into their personal space. This selectiveness is not arrogance, it's emotional intelligence. They understand that their home is sacred, and not everyone deserves access to it. Some of them are dreamers. When the world is too loud, they retreat into imagination. They find worlds inside books, stories, art, and music. Their homes become creative temples where their minds can wander freely without judgment. They build universes within walls. To them, home is not confinement, it's freedom, the freedom to be exactly who they are without interference. They can laugh loudly, cry freely, talk to themselves, or simply exist. It is the only space where they can be unfiltered, unperformed, and unapologetically themselves. Psychologically, the love for staying home can also be linked to the human need for safety and control. Life outside is filled with uncertainty, social expectations, unpredictability, chaos. But within their home, everything feels manageable. They decide the rules, the rhythms, the routines. Their surroundings reflect their mental state, and maintaining that environment gives them a sense of mastery. Cleaning the room becomes a form of meditation. Lighting a candle becomes an act of grounding. Arranging objects becomes a way to organize thoughts. Their environment and psyche move together, one reflects the other. However, it's not always about control. For many, staying home is about rediscovering simplicity in a complex world. It's about realizing that happiness doesn't need to be chased in crowded places, that peace doesn't have to be loud. It's about understanding that fulfillment can exist in small, quiet moments, cooking a favorite meal, listening to the sound of the wind, feeling the warmth of soft light. Their joy is subtle, but it's sincere. It's not the kind of happiness that demands to be posted online. The kind that lives quietly, content within itself. These people are not running from the world, they are simply choosing a slower rhythm within it. They have learned that they don't have to be everywhere to feel alive. They have redefined what it means to live fully. For them, life is not measured by how many places they visit, but by how deeply they experience the moments they have. They've mastered the art of being alone without being lonely. They've learned that silence can be nourishing, that solitude can be sacred, and that home can be the most healing place of all. The psychology of those who love staying at home is, at its heart, the psychology of peace. It's about understanding that true happiness often grows in quiet places. It's about accepting that comfort, security, and calm are not weaknesses, they are foundations. These people remind us that it's okay to slow down, to step back, to choose depth over noise. They show that healing doesn't always come from adventure or excitement. Sometimes it comes from sitting in a room that feels like a warm embrace. In the end, loving to stay at home is not a refusal to live. It's a different way of living, one that values peace, stillness, and inner harmony. It's about finding freedom not in movement, but in presence. The ones who love staying home are not missing out on the world, they are simply experiencing it in a quieter, more mindful way. Their hearts beat to a gentler rhythm, their minds rest in calm waters, and their souls find beauty in simplicity. While the world rushes outside, they are at peace within, and that, perhaps, is the truest form of happiness.